President Trump may be trying to cement his legacy with controversial actions during his last 2 months in office, but those actions may also be designed to put President-elect Joe Biden behind the 8 ball even before he officially moves into the White House. To be clear, the president has checked out on the biggest threat to the country, the coronavirus pandemic. But here are some of the things that he is paying attention to. A drawdown of American troops in Afghanistan and Iraq. U.S. military commanders being given their orders moments ago. Acting Defense Secretary Christopher Miller announcing that the majority of troops will be pulled out of the region by January 15th, just 5 days before Joe Biden is inaugurated. The decision, there will still actually, though, be 2,500 troops in both Iraq and Afghanistan. The decision from President Trump comes despite warnings from military leaders like recently removed Defense Secretary Mark Esper that conditions haven't been met there for withdrawal. The New York Times reports that President Trump is considering a military strike against Iran before he leaves office. The report says Trump asked senior staffers about hitting Iran's top nuclear site, but was waved off the idea by Vice President Mike Pence and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark Milley, among others, not surprisingly. They warned that a strike could escalate into a major confrontation in the final days of the Trump presidency. Trump is also reacting to Iran increasing their stockpile of uranium in the wake of Trump pulling out of the U.S. Out of the Iran nuclear deal. And while the president may have been talked out of that strike, he's said to still be considering other smaller strikes against Iran. The White House is also trying to set up energy companies in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge before time runs out. They are starting the bidding and leasing process for oil and gas drilling sites inside of ANWR. They're trying to get it in under the wire since President-elect Biden has promised to block the drilling. The Trump administration may also try to launch new actions against China here in the final weeks. Axios reports that this could include further sanctions against Chinese companies, maybe greater restrictions on trade as well. Actions like those would be hard for a Biden administration to just rescind, and it would further strain relations with China before Biden takes office. What is making some of these moves more of a possibility than a pipe dream is the purge at the Pentagon. First, the president fired Defense Secretary Mark Esper. Esper had disagreed with Trump on Afghanistan. So with Esper out of the way, the White House started forcing others out of the Pentagon, replacing much of its civilian leadership with Trump loyalists. All of this coming from a lame duck president and his compliant administration, which is becoming more compliant by the day as he removes people. As President Trump makes major foreign policy moves in the final weeks of his administration, he's shutting down the president. He's shutting the president-elect out of getting classified briefings. Joe Biden can't engage with government experts on the global pandemic. He's being blocked from accessing State Department resources like messages from foreign leaders that would be congratulating him on winning the election. Joining me now is Brett Brewer.